before we start, usually you want to define where you want your foot be. You're going to make your foot ring, right? So first, get a needle and give yourself an idea. Here is my outer part of a ring, and here is my inner part of a ring. So you can draw two circles there. So you can remove the clay here and remove the clay there. Or if you wanted the foot a bit smaller, then you can put your foot ring here to here. So this will be the outer part, this will be the inner part. Okay, depending on personal preference. But just make sure that your foot is wide enough so your pieces do not tip over. So the rule is that the smaller, the narrower the foot, your piece looks lighter, floating. But then you don't find a balance of while the piece is sitting on the table, it's not very easy to tip over, right? People knock it and you contain water, the water is coming out. So just make sure you're finding the balance. All right, so that is the ring. Now we're going to remove the clay here and here. Using that tool, the trimming tools, usually you will find it in your basic tool kit. Okay, they should have two pieces like this. Okay, this is the basic trimming tool, and they come up with the loop style. Okay, so we call loop tools, loop style. And there are tons of different trimming tools on the market, on different materials too. So this is very basic. It's made of stainless steel. Usually they don't come with a very sharp edge. Okay, they are dull. So when it's dull, you have to trim your clay in a softer stage. That's why people, when they're using the dull tool, they trim much softer. But our clay is at the hard stage, so the dull tool is not easy to remove the clay. So you want to learn how to sharpen your tool, right? And this is the way to do it. First, you can raise it up, your tool, raise it up and put it in the corner like that, right? And then you are going to use the tool to just sharpen on the inner part, which it's easier, okay? It's easier, and you do that. And what kind of tool? Files, okay, files. The file come with different material too, okay? And the most common one is the diamond file. And I personally prefer a diamond file because diamond file, you can use that to take care of all different materials, okay? Diamond is the most hardest tool to sharpen all different kind of tools, right? So I have a diamond file here and also diamond file here. And this file, this shape is like a needle shape. So one side is curved and one side is flat. So if you want to trim, you want to sharpen the straight side, you just go on the inner part, use the flat side, and then you do that. Okay. Back and forth, back and forth. Okay. And just keep on doing it. And you can apply more pressure. Put your finger here, apply more pressure, and continue sharpening until you feel the surface is scratchy. Okay, scratchy. That way, you know your tool has been sharpened. Okay, so this one, I sharpened one side, and the other side I didn't sharpen it. You can pass it around and feel it. One side, which part is more scratched than the other? That side it's been sharpened. So feel it. Okay, so that is how you do that. The same thing here, right? You sharpen it. It's much easier to sharpen down the inner part of it. Okay, so that's. And then if you have a curved side, you just turn your tool, your sharpen tool over, and there's a little curved side. You just use the curved side to sharpen the curved side. Okay, so that's how you sharpen it, and it's also very important. Yes.
I have one of the other style files. Would you mind showing how you?
This.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is wider blade, and you won't be able to get it inside, right? So if you have this tool and you want to sharpen this, then you probably use that sharpen on the outer part here. This tool usually I'm using it for the L shape, the Asian style of a tool. This tool, right? So this is like an L shape, and you can do that and sharpen it. Okay, so that is for L shape tool. And if you find out you have a curved side, smaller curve, use a smaller tip of a sharpening tool. Okay, so that is how you sharpen your tool before you start it. And speaking of tools, so there's a loop style tool and also the L-shaped style of tools. like this. This is the L-shaped type of tool. Loop style of tool. Okay, so it doesn't matter which is better. Okay, as long as you are used to them, all the tools when they are sharp, they can get the job done easier. So it doesn't matter which one. But most of Asian people, they tend to use the L-shaped type of tool. So you will see on Instagram or YouTube, they do that and then remove the clay like very fast and they can remove it. It's because the tool is very sharp, okay? And you can use a loop tool to do the same thing. You can remove the clay easily as long as the tool is very sharp, okay? Then speaking of the material, I told you that this is made of stainless steel, right? So stainless steel is very soft material, so it's probably every time after you trim, you have to resharpen it after each use, okay? Unless you are okay with the dull tool. Otherwise, I personally prefer using the very sharp tool, so I would prefer to resharpen it every time after I use them, okay? Especially when you are using that for very groggy clay. The clay is very, has lots of grog, or grog is kind of like a sand inside the clay body. It's like a rock. So the soft material hitting the rock is easy to get dull, much sooner, okay? And then you also have the material is made of so-called tungsten carbide. So this looks like the same, but it's different material. This material, it can last for months or even years without needing to resharpen it. The downside for this tool is that if you drop it on the floor, it's gonna shatter. It's like ceramics. But this tool, you drop it, it's okay. But this tool, I wouldn't do it that way, okay? So just to make sure, different material, you treat it differently, okay? Treat it differently. And also this tool is very expensive. It's like 80 bucks, 90 bucks a piece. And this one is like $3 a piece. Okay, so different material.